Sometimes what we're carrying doesn't fully show itself until something quieter invites it to. Now, you're not being asked to go anywhere. You're not being asked to do anything. The weight of beneath you is enough. The rhythm of your breath is enough. You don't need to change it. You don't need to chase it. And there's no pressure to explain or effort to understand. There's no need to name what's here. Just notice what settles inside of you as you listen. And you don't have to follow every word or feel anything in particular. And if there's a space that wants to stay distant, or a space that wants to come closer in its own time, it's okay because it's part of you and already remembers how to be with this. Not all at once or not all the time, just for now. That was one shape of it, but not the only one. Sometimes in a moment, and that moment doesn't need to declare itself to have already begun. It's like when the light changes in a room before your eyes catch it, or a sound that you didn't notice until the silence underneath disappeared. It's about accepting or changing because whatever happens might already be happening in different ways that you don't notice until it's done. Maybe it's a pressure behind your eyes or the way that your jaw rests without clenching, a strange sense that something has shifted, even though nothing looks different. Or some part of you may already be finding a new rhythm without needing to explain how. A pause in your breath, a texture in memory, or the echo of something that didn't ask to be heard. And whether that settles in now or waits for the quiet later, the shift can begin exactly when it isn't being looked for, because nothing has to be resolved for something to finish moving. And maybe something already has begun shifting. No ceremony or explanation or the need for anyone outside of yourself to notice. But it might have started in that space between movements, a moment that stretched a little too long, or when the light met your hand and the rest of you didn't follow. Perhaps your breath aligned with something unspoken, just a flicker outside of your focus, shift in temperature, a hum that belonged to no source that you could name. Some deeper rhythm that is learning to remain near what aches, not by fixing it, but by staying close without recoiling. And you can let go of the effort to repair or wish to vanish, just the act of being here and not reaching away. That's enough. And your rhythm returning not to what it was, but more of your own, measured, grounded, undeniably yours. And there's no timetable, no outcome that holds any authority. So what's moving through you already knows where it's headed, even if your mind hasn't named it yet, because it doesn't need to. Because some shifts move ahead of your understanding. Some things never ask permission, or they don't explain. They wait inside the drawers you haven't opened, in the crease of an old photograph, in the echo of your steps across a room that you hadn't planned to enter. And when they stir, they don't announce themselves, no bang, no flash, only the feeling of dust gathering on your hands, a pause in your breath that you didn't expect, a click behind your ribs, or something loosening without needing to open. This small interior shift, it's not asking for notice. In its time, your body didn't retreat, no backward lean or sudden inhale, just stillness. And that stillness that you used to once call fear may not have been fear at all. Now, there's no need to name what arrived, and just ignore that urge to adjust or correct it, to give it space. And in that space, it changed. Not into recovery, not into resolution, just a quieter kind of presence. A part of you that used to rush stayed still. And right there was the shift. Not dramatic, but undeniable. You opened it, not fixing or erasing, but because it was time. Nothing inside collapsed. No sudden retreat, no grasping for what used to hold you. Your shoulders didn't rise, your chest stayed open. There was no twist in your spine to pull you away. You stayed, and something stayed with you. It wasn't the ache, it wasn't the memory, it was the recognition that you could stand there and let it all be real. No chasing peace or declaring healing, but just being there unchanged by presence. There's no urgency or rush to interpret. Your body allowed that moment to happen. And in that moment, it left something different inside of you. Not an answer, not closure, but now something new moves differently without needing to be moved. And that's how you learned, your body has learned it can stay. A rhythm has already begun before recognition arrived. Not ritual, just a memory to returning to the body. You might linger near the sink or your fingers moving along the counter's edge like reading lines that only your skin could understand. And your shoulders eased. And none of this was rehearsed. There was nothing to prepare. It just came on its own, exactly when it matched who you've become. Breath set its own pace. And just tune in to this moment, quiet, precise, unimposed. There's no flame, but the room still changed. Shadows repositioned, and even the air seemed to agree with you. Stillness arrived anyway. Your palms are open. Your gaze is soft and fully present. There's nothing to grasp. Nothing's being asked of you. Time moves differently, curved, less demanding. And your memory stayed nearby, not sharp, not faded, just allowed to exist and be welcomed. Grief no longer ruled this center as it moves outward, not erased, but woven into the part of your rhythm. Each breath brought you back, not to the past, but to this version of you that can hold both. Something changed in the way you walked. Through familiar rooms, the silence sounded different. Footsteps no longer echoed the way that they used to. That was the beginning, quiet, unmarked, presence long before your awareness caught up, and your breath found its own timing. No need to shape it, nothing more to ask for. Balance returned without effort. Your attention drifted inward, not alert, but calmly fixed on something essential. And when that shift took place, it created room where tension used to hold. The pressure behind your eyes was released, your fingers slackened, your chest gave you space to exist without interpretation. You don't need any introduction. Just stay consistent under the surface until it no longer had to. Closure wasn't required. There was nothing to conclude. And once you held in your space, whatever lost its grip without ceremony, and from that, you returned on your own terms, not waiting to be different, just ready to belong to this moment. Now, even after this moment ends, part of you will keep adjusting to the shift that's already in motion. No announcement, no pressure, just a quiet agreement between your breath, your body, and the life returning to rhythm. When your hand pauses in midair or your breath lengthens without trying, you know something in you is staying where it used to leave. And you don't have to hold it in place. You only need to notice that when silence deepens, you're already there.